Welcome to the bee yard. It's a gorgeous day today. I mean, this week has just been phenomenal weather. We got some awesome rain last week, and it's great to be in the bee yard with this gorgeous weather and the honey flow really starting. One of the big things we're going to focus on out in the bee yard today is supering, because it's that time of year. It's time to start checking and seeing if hives are ready for supers, getting supers onto hives, and then checking to see if we need to add additional supers. And so that's a big thing that we're going to look at today. I always have to make note, I'm just wearing my nitrile gloves today because I'm going to try to find and mark a queen in just a minute. But bees do sting through these occasionally, but it's rare. The other thing I recently discovered, that I'm probably the last one to realize this, but one of the things I love about these nitrile gloves, if you're just doing something quick and easy out in the bee yard, they're great to throw on and keep your hands somewhat protected from stings. But I've also started taking notes on them. And so I'll actually get a Sharpie and I'll write notes about, oh, hey, this hive needed this hive needed this, or numbers, etc. So it's kind of a cool notepad. Okay, so this hive, let's take a look at it and see if it's ready for a super. Now, it was a new single-story hive, and we added a second box to it about a week or two ago. We added a second brood box, and we've been feeding it to get them to grow into that second brood box. So the first brood box was about 80% full of drawn comb, and then we added our second brood box. Now, we were fortunate, we had some previously drawn comb and then some foundation. My goal is when this second brood box I've just added 2 weeks ago, when it's 80% full of drawn honeycomb, then I'm ready to add my first super. So let's take a look and see what they're doing. So I'm looking at the number 3 frame here, and you can see they're just starting to draw out a little bit of wax, not much, but just a little. You can see a little bit of white on that black foundation that they're just starting to draw out. So let's go another frame in. So this one, they're doing a little better. They're drawing a little bit more wax. On this other side, you can see that they've drawn out quite a bit more wax. So they're certainly working, but they're not, they're not quite ready for a honey super yet. Usually once they start drawing out the foundation on the 7th and 8th frame, that's when I'm ready to add another box. So these bees are doing well. They're drawing out comb. You can see here, I mean, again, it's pretty beautiful. They're drawing out that beautiful white beeswax. The queen even has eggs all in here. I don't know if you can see it in the video or not. I'll get a little closer and perhaps you can. But you can actually, if the sunlight hits just right, then you can see eggs down in the bottom of those cells. So she's doing great. She's moving up like she's supposed to into the second brood box. For a hive like this, they've got maybe the middle 5 frames drawn out with honeycomb. I'm going to keep feeding them, and I'm going to say in about another week to 10 days, they're probably going to be ready for a honey super. But generally speaking, once they're drawing out the 7th and 8th frame in that second box, that's when you're ready to add a honey super. And so when we're ready to add a honey super, let's pretend this hive has that 7th and 8th frame already being drawn out. It's really simple. We're just going to get our box of, now this is a super of foundation, so the comb isn't drawn yet, and we're just going to place it directly on top of that second brood box. Now, like I said, this is just foundation, so it's not drawn honeycomb. And so we're going to put it on, and I'm going to keep feeding, and I'm going to come back about a week later, and once they've got about a fist-sized piece of honeycomb drawn out on these center frames, which usually takes about a week if you're still feeding, then I'm going to come back in a week, and I'm going to put my queen excluder between that top brood box and my honey super. Now, this is a really critical step, because if you put that queen excluder on before they start drawing out foundation up in this box, the bees are not going to travel through that queen excluder to start drawing out foundation. They just refuse to do it. So they've got to get started drawing out foundation, and then you can add your queen excluder about a week later. And then it's simple from there. Once this box is 80% drawn out with honeycomb, you're ready to add your second honey super.